And I'm now delighted to be joined by Councillor Cllr Codd, who's a member of Wexford County Council. Jim, you're a member of Wexford County Council over 5 years. You're going for re-election in the Cllr district.
That's right, Paul, that's right.
If I'm correct. How has the last 5 years on Wexford County Council been?
Well, Paul, I've been very, very busy. I ran for the party in 2019. I never ran for any other party before. I was very much attracted by the principal stand that Adrd and the party have taken on a whole plethora of issues. So I've been very, very busy, and it seems to be paying off on the doors. The reception I'm getting on the doors is very, very good. And of late, the stand that our party took, the only party to have taken the stand in the last referendum, and I being the only politician that came out clearly with 2 no's in the last referendum, has certainly won us the respect of the people. We had the courage to do that, and I think that's what people want now. They want politicians who stand for something and are willing to stand by what they say. They seem to have had enough of the other.
A lot of flip-flopping, and I'm sure you're seeing a difference on the doors that referendum result has galvanised the party.
Absolutely, and parties, major parties are blending into one, and I'm getting on the doors that the electorate no longer feel safe to give their votes to the major parties. So they're certainly looking towards us, because, as I say, we had no carpetbaggers or opportunists in this party. Those that came and stood for Aontu stood there because they believed in what Aontu was founded on. If it was to build a political career, we would have looked perhaps to the bigger parties initially. Yes. But now, thankfully, we are growing and growing and growing.
Absolutely, and we have locals and European elections this coming May, June. Yeah. You're on 3 candidates in Europe, so you'd be hopeful of getting at least one of them more over the line, and then increase your representation
absolutely.
Councils all over Ireland.
Absolutely. And I'm very confident that's exactly what's going to happen. When we started out trying to raise the profile of the name was a big job, and now everybody well knows Aontu were the courageous party who took the stand that others wouldn't take. So I think that'll be reflected in the European elections, and we have fantastic candidates running in the European elections.
And what are the big issues coming up in Wexford?
Well, the big issues.
What are your plans?
Well, the big issues, and the issues that I have continued to raise tirelessly since elected, one is the absolute lack of housing and how this is affecting our rural villages. Our rural villages are declining beyond belief, and it's been reflected in the GA teams, the different sporting organisations. And until we put houses, and the government is simply not listening to us on this, we need to put houses into those rural areas. We have close on 3,000 on the housing list in Wexford. In the area I represent alone, we have hundreds and hundreds on it. And I've worked for 30 years as a teacher, and it is really heartbreaking to have taught children who cannot get the basics of a roof over their head. And we have a large number of homeless people in Wexford now. I got figures this morning while driving up here. There's one particular body that deals with homelessness, one particular organisation that used to facilitate showers for 18 to 20 homeless in a week, are now looking at 80 to 90 people. This is a huge problem, and there are many homeless people who are sleeping on sofas or sleeping on floors, that have given up the fight. They've just conceded. They remain in this no man's land because they know there is nothing there for them. We're in chronic need of more.
How is Aontu planning to address that housing shortage?
Well, how Aontu plans to address it, and how I've addressed it for the 5 years that I've been elected, is I have continued to demand that social housing be built in rural areas. It is our lot to highlight and push for this, but until we have proper sewage, water in these rural areas, we have a big problem. The other thing is the lack of investment into our rural roads network. It is absolutely chronic. When you consider Kerry, who is a much smaller population than Wexford, gets many millions millions more. Meath, that's much smaller than Wexford, also gets many millions more. And Wexford is left very badly financed for the rural roads. The main roads are maintained well, but the country roads people that I represent really struggle. The only ones that are doing well out of them are the mechanics and those selling tyres.
Really, yeah. And Wexford, the constituency has changed. The north of the county has gone in with South Wicklow to form a new constituency called Wicklow Wexford.
It has indeed.
And the remaining of Wexford is part of a 4-seater Wexford constituency.
Yes.
Talk that you could be in the hunt for the last seat. I'm sure that's something that you're hoping to.
Yeah, well, look at Aontu. There's no doubt that Aontu has grown in popularity significantly, and there's no doubt that people want change, and the same old thing repackaged in a different way will not do anymore. We are, as I say, we are new. This party was formed by idealists who were not opportunists, were not carpetbaggers, and that is why I'm proud to stand with them.
Well, Councillor Jim Codd, thanks a million for taking the time to talk to your leaders.
My pleasure.
Political Roundup, and wish you every success in the
My pleasure. My pleasure.
June, sorry.
My pleasure. Thank you very much.